Hey guys, it's Trish from Trish's Card Club, live from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Happy Wednesday night, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Oops. Oh, I forgot to shut my phone off. Oh, that is such a bummer. We'll be dealing with that through the whole class, won't we, today? All right. So how are you guys out there? How is everybody doing? I see Miss Mary. Thanks, Mary. I'm always so appreciative of how faithful you are. Things here are good. I think we got up to like the high 50s today, so it was heavenly. Yes, heavenly. Still in the 30s when I walked, but that's okay. That's all right. I'll take it. I will take it. Hey, Miss Patty. Hey, Patty, congratulations on winning a bingo thing. That was fantastic. Side note. So before I get started, you are cold. I don't even want to hear that, Miss Patty. Although I used to say that all the time when I lived in Florida. But now I just turn the heat on and wear lots of layers. So before I start, to give people a couple more minutes to come on, I wanted to kind of tell you, you guys, you know the story, the TV commercial of the family that are clog dancers. They're the people below them. They say they love their apartment, but the noise upstairs, and then you hear this whole family of cloggers. Little kids brushing his teeth with cloggers. Well, I think they filmed that here at my apartment, because the dear sweet children that live upstairs are so loud from 7 o'clock in the morning till they go to school, and then when they come home from school till they go to bed, they run and run and run. So yeah, that's the disadvantage of living between two apartments. So that's my little story for tonight. Hey Mary, Ann, nice to see you, and Julie, it's good to see you too. Couple announcements. Stampin' Up's last chance. Oh, I forgot my shameless plug sign. One moment, please. Shameless plug. So, the mini catalog is ending in a few more weeks. And so Stampin' Up! Announced today their last chance sale, stuff that you can get us a little bit of it at a discount, but not a lot, but just stuff that if you want, you need to get now before it retires and then it becomes unavailable. So if you go to trishen.stampinup.net or talk to your local demonstrator, she or I will gladly help you make any of your final purchases. As I said, there are a few things on sale. So Patty said kid rode Hot Wheels. Oh my gosh, yes. I can believe that. I can totally believe that. So, okay, so why don't we get started? So as I said, if you need anything, you're going to go to trishen.stampinup.net. We're going to make a Christmas card tonight using some Christmassy colors, but a little bit non-traditional, I think. Now, I have a new camera, you guys. So I noticed that if I don't have something here for it to focus on, it gets blurry. At least the screen that I see. So I'm going to need you guys to reach out and tell me if it gets blurry or what happens, because I don't know. So we are going to be using Granny Apple Green, but when I take this away, it has a tendency to go blurry. It's not, so we'll see if it goes blurry or not. We're going to be using watercolor paper. Yeah, it gets a little bit blurry, I can tell already. Ooh, that's terrible. Let me put that back. So I guess it just loses focus if it doesn't have something to focus on. That's going to be a problem. I'll have to work on that. So we're going to be using Pool Party, Poppy Parade, and then that's just our insert. And then we're going to be using watercolor paper. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to just leave that there, you guys, just to keep it in focus, although I notice it goes in and out of focus. We are going to use the Stamparatus tonight. And the stamp set that we're going to be using is Words of Cheer. So this is a really pretty Christmas stamp set that's in the Holiday Mini, and we're going to be using this big stamps right here. Hopefully you can see it because I'm not very far away. Let me see if I get a little further away, if that helps you guys with the focus. Let me try that, if I can get my camera to stay like that. Hopefully you won't get too seasick. Okay, maybe that'll help with the focus a little bit. So we're using Words of Cheer. We're going to be using the big stamp. We're going to be using the smaller leaves and that, and we're going to be using Sending You Christmas Cheer actually, I like Wishing You a Joyful Christmas. I think we might go in that direction, but we'll see at the end how it's going to work. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our Pool Party, ink it, squish it, squeeze it, and get some ink in here. And if you don't have enough ink when you squeeze it, you can always do a drop of ink like that. Then we're going to take our watercolor painters, which are these things right here that have water in the base of them. You just unscrew them. Now let me tell you a trick. They unscrew the opposite. Normally you screw on to the right, screw off to the left, or whatever it is. It's the opposite. So if you can't get them to go to tighten up, just screw them the opposite way and they'll work. So what you would do is you would fill this with water, and then you would squeeze it until you get water that comes out of the brush onto the canal and onto the brush. So there's some water. Now I don't want to make this too wet because I don't want to be here all night making you guys wait for it to dry. So I'm going to go pretty light on the watercolor. Let's make sure we're in camera here, and I'm just going to stroke back and forth. Need a little bit of paint on there. Back and forth. I'm going to get a little bit more water in there. There we go. There's no right or wrong with watercoloring. That is the absolute beauty of watercoloring. There is literally no right or wrong. You just want to get some watercolor on the paper like that. And that's literally it for the watercoloring part of it. I'm going to put this here, hopefully to keep it in focus. So now one thing I have to do is I'm taking this off screen and I'm going to shake it to get it to dry. Because I need it to get dry. So I can stamp on it. Now normally if I was just by myself and I was in a hurry, I would use a heat gun, but I didn't want to drag that out, and I didn't want to make the noise of a heat gun. So I think that's dry enough. Next, we're going to take the Stamparatus. And I already have, I'm going to put this here. And I've already got my stamps lined up. So I'm going to first take that off and put it that way, because I'm doing the big, yeah. So then I'm going to ink that up in black. I think I'm still on camera. I'm not sure how wide out my angle is. So I'm going to get it really well inked. I'm going to take my dry eraser, flip that over, and then just rub my dry eraser all around like that. Let's see how that came out. Ah, very good. That will work perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it around. And I have on there, you guys, sending you Christmas cheer, but I'm actually going to take that off because that's not the one that I want. I've decided I would rather have I'd rather have wishing you a joyful Christmas. So let me just see if that's going to fit on there. Is that 2 lines? That's 2 lines. That's this one. Put that back there. Let me see if it's going to fit. It's going to be a little bit tight, but we're going to do it. So you lay down, whoops, you got to lay it down this way, like that. Let me see if I bring it down here a little bit out of the way of that. That might even be better. Yeah. And then put that over, pick it up, and then a little bit of ink. Ink that baby up. And same thing with your dry erase. Perfect. That's very pretty. Wishing you a joyful Christmas. I like that a lot. That came out really well. Now I'll clean the stamps and do all that stuff off camera. Next thing I'm going to be using is Poppy Parade blends. Let me put that there. And also I'm going to be using light granny apple green. I think. I'm going to test the granny apple green. So on this, it's going to take me just a couple minutes because I have a lot to color. But it will be worth the wait because it looks really beautiful when it's done. So let me get in camera, but let me get close enough so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just coloring in right over the watercolor. The blends will go right over it. It won't affect it at all. Just make sure it's dry, because if it's not dry, it will bleed. My last one bled a little. It still looked good, but it did bleed a little bit. So you just want to make sure that your watercolor is dry enough that you can paint over it. I'm sorry, that you can blend over it. Now, I am not a world's best blender girl. I just like to color. So I do have two colors. I have the light Poppy Parade and the dark Poppy Parade, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to just put some depth to it. But if you're looking for professional watercoloring, you're looking at the wrong girl. I would send you to other people, but I don't even know who can do it. I don't even know, like, I don't know anybody right off the top of my head that I could say, oh, check that girl out, she's really good at it. I know there are people that do, but I just can't think of anybody off the top of my head. So then I'm going to color in my little squares. I have a little bit of ink. Let me get that dried out. Okay, I'm going to color in my little balls. Isn't this cool, you guys? Right over the watercolor, you can do this. No consequences whatsoever. Looks really pretty. That goes there, 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 and there. See, now on this one, you guys, it wasn't quite dry, so see how it bled a little bit? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to go on the insides. Now, I don't even know if you can pick up the darkness on the camera. I don't know, but it really looks very pretty in real life. So I'm just kind of shading a little bit some of the leaves. Of course, I'm not an expertise at this, so I'm not an expert at this, so I'm not sure how it's going to come out. But I'm trying to build a little bit of depth into it. And it looks good to me. So I guess since I'm giving the card, I'm happy with it, and I'm sure it will bless the person that I give it to. So there. There's no right or wrong with blends. There's no right. So this is now what I don't know is if this Granny Apple Green will fill in or not. So that's what yeah, it does. Okay, good. I was concerned that it was too light, but it's not. It will go right over that watercolor. And I just love this color combination for Christmas. I think it's so pretty. And then when I get done doing all this, which I know this is taking me a little while, usually you guys, I don't make you wait through all this painful coloring, but I have one more embellishment to add to it, and it really totally finishes it off. And it sort of supports my theory that when we have embellishments from Stampin' Up, they're really worth buying because they last. They don't ever go bad. They don't go stale. And they can really add a lot to a card. So I have ones that are current, but I'm going to show you how it's just going to put a great final touch on the card. Almost done with coloring. I know it's taking me a while. There was a lot to color. Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? I just think that is so, so pretty. The colors are just beautiful. That little whitewash in the back is very, very pretty. So then what I decided to do is I'm going to take the Pool Party cardstock, and I'm going to get some glue on that. And I'm going to put that. This is cattywampus for my friend Teresa, because she really struggles with cattywampus. Hey, Emery. Thanks for joining. Now, on this, you guys, this is watercolor paper. It's very dry. It's perfectly fine. It will, if you are going to use mono, you need to use a lot. You need to be very generous with mono. But I happen to have some Stampin' Up! Tear and tape that I've talked about a couple times. Finally have some. So I'm going to just use that because I really want to make sure this doesn't curl at all when I send it out. Now, it shouldn't if you are generous with the mono, but I'm just being extra careful, extra securing the card down so that it stays nice and tight. Because watercolor paper is so thick that sometimes it needs a little bit of extra, so that's why you need to do a little bit more. I'm burnishing it, I think that's what the word is. Just rub it down so it will come off, and then you just pick those. This is when having nails is not a good thing. Let's see if I can get this. Yep, one. Nope, let me try this end. Yep. And this end. Come on, people. Work with me here. My there's that. And then this is hanging over a little, so I'm just going to mend it back. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this on a little cattywampus, just so you see some of the pool party. And that, you guys, is the beginning of the card. Isn't that beautiful? Then one thing left we have to add to it is Stampin' Up! Is selling these wonderful gems in the mini catalog that ends in a couple weeks. And I love these. They have like gold flecks in them. I don't know if you can pick that up, but it looks really, really pretty. And I thought what I would do is I would just put one bigger one in the middle of this flower. So pretty. And then the smaller ones in the little flowers. And it's just this added touch that really makes a difference on the card. That's why I love embellishments. And that's why sometimes I use them when they retire, because I buy them in big quantities, more than I could probably use in one catalog period. But they never go bad. So the glue doesn't go bad or anything like that. So it's really worth checking out the accessories. So there's that. There's the card. Oh, you guys, I think it's so very, very pretty. And then for the inside, let me make sure I have the right size. Do I? Yep, I do. So for the inside, just to bring it a little bit of color, I am taping it on the inside. Though I shouldn't have done that. I should always stamp first. That's the rule. Stamp first, then tape. But it's too late. I already taped. So I'm going to take some Granny Apple Green ink and some leaf stamps. And I'm just going to do this. Holly leaves and that, and then just to bring in some more of the Poppy Parade, I'm going to just do this. 1, 2, and 3. Ta-da! And then I have a saying that I'll put in here. Oops, I just got ink on that. Oh well, so there's the card, you guys. Wishing you a joyful Christmas. And it comes from the stamp set, Words of Cheer. Very pretty. Let me clean off my space so you don't have to see everything that I've constructed. Very pretty stamp set. Beautiful greetings. Happy wishes to you and yours. Season's greetings. Wishing you a joyful Christmas. Merry Christmas, or Happy Christmas from my home to yours. So there's a lot of really pretty things on here. And then this stamp right here, you can stamp in here, here, and here if you wanted to do that. So don't be surprised if you see the stamp set one more time before Christmas is up. And we might do a different card with it, just to give you another sample. So that's it, you guys. That's my Wednesday night class, first Christmas card of the season. Hey, Cindy, thanks for coming. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. And it was so easy to do, and I know it took a little bit of time, but it was worth the wait, and it would be a really beautiful card to send out with, especially if you do card in bulk, you just do them assembly style. So you guys have a really good night. I want you to make it and mail it. Get your Christmas cards in the mail as soon as you can, you guys, because you know how difficult it's going to be for Christmas cards to get on time this year. Because of the postal system being a mess. Not all their fault, they're just a mess. So the earlier you get your cards out, the better. And if you get cards after Christmas, just know that someone's helping you extend it even longer, because not all cards are going to make it in time. But don't not send them because it's late. Even if they're late, even if it's after Christmas, send your cards out. They'll bless people. All right, you guys, that's it. I hope you have a really good night. Love you guys. Remember to make it, we mail it, and I'll see you Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Have a good rest of the week.